So water hyacinth is a invasive plant which we collect, which is a big problem for the wetlands of India. So what our company does is that we collect water hyacinth from wetlands. So our initial project now we have started from Diporbil, the only Ramsar site at Assam. So we collect water hyacinth and convert it into printable chemical-free paper. That also handmade. So this is what Kumbhi Kagaz does, and that is what we started in 2018, and we are running a company now.
Hi friends, welcome to Chain Started to our series Change Trails. You would have probably seen a lake or a water body covered with large patch of green leaves. This is commonly known as water hyacinth. This aquatic plant might look beautiful to some people, but it is an invasive species which has many problems. It impacts the marine life, which further creates problem for the fishing community. The plant also blocks the waterways, among many other issues. So we have a company that is solving this problem of water hyacinth in a very innovative fashion. Kumbhi Kagaz makes paper products using water hyacinth. Today, we are going to speak to the founder of Kumbhi Kagaz, Rupankar Bhattacharjee. Hi, Rupankar. Welcome to Chain Started to us.
Thank you so much, Varun, for doing whatever you are like educating people about the informations, whatever you are collecting. Thank you so much for this, and thank you so much for inviting me to this your show.
So before we get on to your startup, why don't you tell us what were you doing before that?
Before 2018, I was an installation artist, and I was in like little bit interested in the field of wildlife, snakes. So because of snakes, like I'll tell, it's a very interesting story. So before that, I used to make artworks from waste, collecting waste motor parts or whatever metal parts or any plastic material. I used to make artworks, installation artworks. So after that, I got into the field of wildlife. My first art project in the field of wildlife was building and designing the snake house of Assam State Zoo. So I was interested in snakes right from childhood, and Dr. Jayaditya Purkayastha is my mentor in this particular field. So he's a renowned scientist, herpetologist. So there was a snake. It was a Burmese python in 2018, which I rescued. And while releasing it back to the wild, I released it in Diporbil, and there I met with water hyacinth. And after a lot of discussion and brainstorming with Dr. Jayaditya Purkayastha, I got to know what water hyacinth is and how we can convert it into valuable product.
Yeah, so coming to water hyacinth, I mean, personally, I have seen water hyacinth, and I mean, people definitely, viewers would have seen it is a that green aquatic plant which spreads across all the water bodies, lakes. I mean, it engulfs the entire lake sometimes, and I mean, all of us would have also seen that the government do make efforts sometimes to try to get rid of, but in few days and months time, it comes back. So just elaborate, what is this problem of water hyacinth? I mean,
Water hyacinth was introduced. There is a story. I don't know whether it's true or false, or I have no idea, but internet says so. So in 1800, Lady Hastings, wife of Lord Warren Hastings, the first Governor General of India, he was from Cal. So she loved the flower of water hyacinth and introduced water hyacinth in Bengal. She gifted it to someone, and after that it became a trend and it spread all across India, and that's why the other name of water hyacinth is terror of Bengal. So water hyacinth, according to the research, it says that it multiplies itself within 1 week to 9 days, and it's a fast growing plant. And it says that if we cannot control the growth of water hyacinth, then it can cover the entire world in 2.5 years. So
wow.
that's how fast it grows. So basically, its origin is from Amazon basin, and what happens is that it eats up the space of local plant bodies. So nowadays, wherever any wetland which got affected by water hyacinth, you'll see that it has lost the plants like water lily or makhana that we eat, foxnut,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
lotus. These are not
yeah,
available nowadays. So
yeah.
these are the problem. It will eat up the space and it will cause siltation, because of which nowadays you will see that the water body lot, it's also because of pollution, but when water hyacinth it dies, it settles down, and that causes siltation, and it will also block the sunlight, so it becomes difficult for the aquatic life as well. So there are several reasons why water hyacinth, like water hyacinth, if I can tell you 10 good points of water hyacinth, compared to that only one or two good points, like 10 bad points compared to that one or two good points will be there. So it's like a disastrous plant.
Why is that? That even though, I mean, people do remove it, there are
Mhm.
NGOs who remove it, there are government people who remove it, they are mechanized approach, I believe. They bring the machine and they try to remove it, but again after few days it again comes back. So why? What is the source of this problem, Rubankar? If you can
So
elaborate.
I cannot tell you scientifically, but once I, as much as I remember, I may be wrong. I may be wrong with the term, but there was a term my friend once said, maybe vegetative propagation. We studied in science. I remember when I was in class 7, 8, or what. I don't remember. It's a long back. I cannot. I may be wrong with the term, but there is a term called vegetative propagation. Maybe even a small part or the root can help the plant to grow. So whenever you are removing water hyacinth, a little bit remains can cause like become disastrous. So that's how even after taking out like water hyacinth, like other than chemical method, if you are taking it out manually, a small like at times in Diporbil, I have seen the water hyacinth base is dried up, fully dried up during December. During the dry season, it's dried up. But when it's rainy season again, and if that particular area where there was once water hyacinth and now it's all dried up and dead, when water covers it up, you will see that after a month or so, that particular area also gets filled up with water hyacinth. So that is a problem, maybe because of its growth. As much as I know, it grows very easily. Even a leaf or a part of its root, if it is fallen, if it is over there, if it gets in contact with moisture, maybe it will grow again. That's how it, grows very fast.
Yeah, so now, I mean, now we have a base that we understand what is the problem. So tell us, how did you got the idea of starting something with this? I mean, you said you spoke to one of your professor, one of your mentors, but
Yeah.
how did the idea of making a paper out of this plant came to you?
So in 2014, 2013, Dr. Jayaditya Purkayastha and his wife, Dr. Madhurima Das, both of them, they started the project of they run an NGO named Help Earth. Okay, Help Earth NGO from 2006, and Help Earth is I am also a member of Help Earth. So from 2006, they have started working on conservation of lesser known animals and also conservation of water bodies. So over there, there are frogs, like whatever falls in herpetology. They started researching how to protect them, how to conserve the wetland, and they started working on this particular wetland, Diporville, right from 2006. 2013, 12 or 13, most probably 12, 13 or 14. Within these years, they started working on how to convert. They identified the problem of water hiking, how it started already like affecting the lake. They started researching on, and they found that there are a lot of artisans who are manufacturing bags and a lot of beautiful art items, handicraft items from water hyacinth. They dry it up and use the stem to, yeah. So that was very common, and they started working on that. 2018, 17, I met Dr. Jayaditya Purkayastha, and then our bonding became like he is my guru and I became his shishya. And being a shishya, he every time, whenever I used to meet him, we used to brainstorm what are the things available in nature, what is harming nature, how can we convert that into something else. So that started as a brainstorming. 2018, Dr. Jayaditya, I remember he told me once, like when I identified water hyacinth, like while releasing the python back in the wild. So he told me that, Rupankar, can you do something with its fibers? So when we talk about fibers, they, even if you go and sit in front of internet and you start searching, you will see that that time Geo was very new to our country. So I got the access to internet newly that moment of time, and I was mad when I got internet. I kept searching, making videos and all this. That moment of time, I searched a lot about the fibers of water hyacinth, and I understood what can be done with plant fibers. The first thing that struck in my mind was water hyacinth fibers and converting it into paper. So converting it into paper, I've gone through the paper making process. It's a chemical process and all. So the first problem that was in my cup was I don't have anything, any access to any chemical, any machine, nothing. So then it came into my mind that how China was successful in making paper. The story that we know, paper was
Okay.
invented in China.
Yep.
So Chinese people, people from Egypt, and all of them, they made paper 3,000, 4,000 years ago. Why can't we make chemical-free paper now? So
Mm.
that's how little bit of studying I understood that the process of paper making. Then I started working on the fiber. So my challenge was making a paper that is chemical-free and also printable, because handmade papers are not printable.
Yep.
Any paper available in India, you go through, you try to use it in your printer, the printer will, it will damage the printer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So our target was making printer friendly, and then a lot of research in 2020 during lockdown. Everybody was at home, even I was at home. So my pastime was birding, looking, watching birds, taking it photographs, and researching on paper. 2020 I became successful with the paper, and then 2021, our first competition, UK-based startup, UK-based NGO, Waste State, we competed, we won the competition, became global winner, and won 10,000 euros grant. And that's how, at that moment of time, I had a proprietorship company called Inside Out. So Inside Out basically won that. So we closed that company and made a private limited company, that is Kumbhi Kagaz Private Limited. So that's how it began. Like in 2023 May, we started incorporated our company, and we are three founder members. Like I'm Rupankar Bhattacharjee, my co-founder Aniket Dhar, and Madhurima Das, wife of Dr. Jayaditya Purkayastha. So they
Okay.
are our mentor, and me and Aniket, we are full-time workers. We
Cool.
full-time work for this company. Yeah.
Awesome story, Rupankar. I mean, credit to you guys that you have come out with this idea and started an excellent initiative. So, can you elaborate a little more on the process of making this paper? How do
Yeah.
you collect that water hyacinth, and how do you make the paper? And what all
Okay.
products do you make out of it?
So water hyacinth, when we collect, we started collecting water hyacinth in a very easy way. There are people from the wetland community who are fully dependent on fishing. So back 10 years back, when when there was less water hyacinth in the lake, that moment of time more fish was available. Pollution was less, so more fish was available. Fishing was very easy that moment of time. As time passed by, now fishermen face a lot of problem. That moment of time, one fisherman could collect around 10 kg fish. Now they are only collecting 1.5 kg, and that also at times they miss. Like within a week, maybe 3 or 4 times they will get fish, and it becomes even difficult for them to sell it. So we ask them that whenever you are going to fish, with मतलब एक हाथ से मछली पकड़ो तो दूसरा हाथ खाली लेके मत लौटो, उस
Hmm.
उसके साथ जलकुंभी लेके आओ. So that was our slogan, and the fishermen community, 14 to 15 of them, they got associated and they started collecting water hyacinth. So that's how initially we got the boost. We got a lot of water hyacinth from them, and then what we did, we became friends with the Gao. So there is a concept in our villages of Assam. There is Gao Bura, village headman. Gao
Hmm.
means village, and
Yeah.
Bura means oldest person. So
El-
Gao Bura, village headman.
Elderman.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so we became friends with village admin, and now his name is Sarat Chandra Das. So he helps us now collecting the water hyacinth. So after collection, there is like we have two employees. We call them left hand and right hand of Kumbhi Kagaz. So their name is Moromi and Rumi. So what, like both of them, they are wonderful ladies, wonderful artwork they make. So I'll just show you once. This is a notebook that I'm carrying in my hand. So
Wonderful.
this notebook entirely was made of water hyacinth. Entirely is made
Wow.
of water hyacinth. So
Nice.
they do it completely, making paper and then making this final product. So our only manufacturing is what we manufacture is first the paper, and then we convert it into notebooks. Nothing else. As of now, we are only selling notebooks, and the paper making process is very easy. But over there, the trade secret that we have kept is
Yeah.
manually we could we found a way to extract the fibers of water hyacinth, which companies would do chemically. So what we do, we extract the in a, it's a semi-automatic machine that we have designed. It's a very simple machine. When we put the water hyacinth inside, it gets divided into two parts: microfibers and a dust material. So the fibers become the bonding agent, and the in between the like fibers there are gaps. That gap is filled up with the cellulose material of water hyacinth. And we don't add chemical because water hyacinth is a lignin poor like plant. So in every paper, lignin is a component of plant which is removed before making
Right.
paper, because that bring stiffness to paper. Okay, but without even removing lignin, what we found, water hyacinth is aquatic. Okay, so
Yeah.
when water hyacinth is aquatic, we need to, उसका तो कुछ ना कुछ तो गुण होगा. मतलब water
Hmm.
hyacinth will definitely have some good what to say, गुण को क्या कहते हैं
Properties.
इंग्लिश में, properties.
Properties.
So good properties. So what we use, that hydrophobic thing of water hyacinth helped us. Like what we are doing is directly taking the plant and converting it into paper. So now when you use even ink pen, there is no blotting in the paper.
Okay.
Without using chemical, we achieve that because we have kept everything a manual and semi-automatic process, and it becomes very easy for us to convert into paper. Making process is very easy. It's just a mold and decal process. We put the pulp and usko like it's a sieve sort of a thing. We take it out. There is a sheet that gets ready. We dry it, and then we have a roller. Usme like we push the paper through that. It becomes very plain, and then we make we chop it and make notebooks.
So do you use dry water hyacinth or you use
Yeah, we use
means
dry
how?
water hyacinth.
Okay.
Dry.
So
Collect.
from collection to the end products, what is the duration? What is the cycle, Rupankar?
So we do it
How many
within
days
like
does it take?
so we collect the water hyacinth. So collection of water hyacinth doesn't hamper our production because we collect the water hyacinth once in a year during December
Okay.
when it's dry season. Okay,
Okay.
so it already gets dried up in the field and it gets collected and we bring it. So the conversion, like we as of now, our unit can manufacture our like optimum manufacturing strength is 1,500 sheets per day, handmade paper.
Okay.
Okay, but because of weight, like because of space issue and the weather condition of Assam, it's very moist, so
Yeah.
we are not getting much ample amount of space to dry our paper. So that is why we are producing, like our undervalued production is going on. We can hardly produce 150 to 200 sheets a day, so it's
Okay.
almost less than 1/10 our production.
Yeah. What I also wanted to check is like what is the proportion? Like if you collect 100 kg of water hyacinth, how many kgs or how many quantity of paper you can produce?
Okay, so I can tell you about we collect so 1 minute I will tell you, like the bigger sheets that we manufacture, I can give you like exact collection. I'm not good in math. I'll just tell you
Okay.
about 1 kg proportion that we calculate.
Sure.
So with
Sure.
1 kg water hyacinth, we can
Right.
manufacture 18 sheets of paper, 20-inch into 30-inch bigger sheets. So
Right.
now you can calculate the area of one A4 size paper, and you can get like एक बड़ा sheet से maybe we collect around 4 to 5 A4 sheets. So
Okay.
4 into 18. So 1 kg water hyacinth gives us 4 into 18 equal to sheets of paper.
72 sheets of paper. Okay,
Huh.
cool. And also what I wanted to check is like, so at one way you are solving the problem of this water hyacinth, which is a huge problem, and on the other hand you are also solving the problem of saving trees, right? Because
Yeah.
generally what paper we use is made from paper, wood pulp, right? So you are
Yeah.
solving that, you are saving trees, you are conserving trees and our forests. So is it comparable, Rupankar, like the quantity which you make with water hyacinth compared to whatever the traditional way of making paper is with the wood pulp? So is it
So
comparable
as
or
of now, pulp, the paper that is manufactured from wood pulp is a commercial paper. Okay, so that
yeah,
is manufactured. Our one is handmade paper. So commercial paper
yeah,
and handmade paper already it is different. So if ever I can set up a commercial paper plant, then I
yeah,
guess the same material can be converted into paper. But I could not do that as of now. But with but if I compare with commercial paper, I can tell you one thing: the A4 size 75 GSM sheet that you are utilizing,
yeah,
that consumes 15 to 20 liter of water, one single sheet.
right,
It
right,
consumes 15 to 20 liter of water in manufacturing process, one sheet. But when we manufacture the same, one sheet of A4 size consumes 1.5 liter of water. So it's one
okay,
tenth the water. So not only we are making tree paper, we are also saving water.
yeah,
So the manufacturing
absolutely,
process consumes very less water. So yes, in that comparison, this is what we can compare about. And yes, our paper is not white, so that is what it gives it the uniqueness. It's little bit brownish, creamish color, and you can see the fibers very properly when you touch the paper, when you feel it. and that's how it is differentiated. Maybe in future, if we add a little bit of chemical or add bleach, we also can manufacture white paper, but we don't want to do that. Our segment is a little different.
Absolutely, Rupankar. I mean, see, I mean, even when the traditional wood pulp paper was made, it was not a one-day thing. I mean, gradually it would have taken years for them to refine the process and come to the level which they are right now. So obviously, when you guys scale, when I mean this industry scale, we will also do a lot better than what we are currently, and probably this might be solving lot of other problems and giving this world an excellent eco-friendly alternative which we need
Hope
for
so.
this world, right? So all the best to you. I mean, I'm sure you will do wonders with your invention. So how many products you have as of now? You are only making papers and books, or you have anything else?
No, we plan to manufacture, like we have different set of notebooks. We have notebooks, we have notepads, we have spiral binded notebooks. So we also made in between, we made paper pens, but then we saw that there are a lot of companies already making paper pens, and our paper is little bit expensive. Like compared to normal paper, it is expensive, but compared to handmade paper market, it's not that expensive. So we are currently focusing on making only notebooks, different sizes. Like this one is a small notebook, pocket size,
Yeah.
and this is a handy B6 size, and then there is A5, and till A5 we make because handmade paper notebooks are like people generally prefer to carry handy notebooks. So that is what. As of now, we are only making that. When we get orders for wedding cards and all, we also do that. But yes, compared to normal paper, as because our paper is little expensive, so we are only focusing on notebooks as of now. But compared to normal handmade paper notebook, whatever unique handmade paper is available in the market, our one is half the price. Like MRP of other handmade paper notebooks, if you see, are mostly crossing 500, 600, but our one MRP is 300 to 350. So
Okay.
half the,
Awesome. So
so it becomes a good
excellent.
souvenir item to gift. And that also, we are the only company that manufactures handmade paper from Water Hyacinth. That also printable material. So
Yeah.
we are very much confident that it will take other companies a lot of time to reach us. Until then, we
Absolutely.
will extend a little bit more in our process.
And we want that. We want that. So all the best. So whom do you sell to, Rupankar, currently? So you, whatever products you are making, generally, whom are you selling to? Is it
So
only
our main,
B2C or B2B?
yeah, it's basically a corporate gifting item and a souvenir item as well. Most of the time, if there is webinars or seminars, artists whenever they are preferring to draw or doodle. So in these sort of things, our notebook is mainly like people are mainly purchasing. Assam government, like mainly the Assam Forest Department. There are other departments, segregated department of Assam government. They purchase our notebooks whenever there is seminars and webinars. As start there is a Startup India, right? Or yeah,
Yeah.
Startup India. In that way, Startup Assam is also there. So
Right.
they mainly help all the startups of Assam to reach out, build networks. So Startup Assam is also our client. So we have other clients from Pan India. There are few repetitive clients who prefer draw. They started preferring drawing in our particular paper only. There are artists. So that way it's separate, like segregated. So mainly corporate people, artists, and all, they only purchase our product.
So can people like us, can we buy your product? Is it available on
Yes,
e-commerce sites?
yeah, not in e-commerce side. We haven't added yet. So we have our own personal website, www.kumbhikagaz.com. So in
Cool.
kumbhikagaz.com, you can go and check out our all unique designs, whatever you want. Like people can just add it. It's like user-friendly website because I am not a technical person. So I'm into my designer. So my partner, he is himself the designer. I asked him to make a very easy looking website for people like me who
Yeah.
get confused. Like for me, Amazon is way easier to use rather than compared to Mintra. When you have to go it, like take it to wish list and then purchase, and that becomes difficult. Direct
So
buy
do
now
you,
option. You like the product and then directly buy now.
so is there any reason why you are not listed on the e-commerce sites?
Uh, yeah, because according to I may be wrong because we are as we are just a startup and most of the work we are only handling. We have seen that according to our research, we have found very less handcrafted materials get sold in e-commerce sites like Flipkart, Amazon, Mintra, whatsoever. So I have
Right.
seen most of the handcrafted because whenever we hardly go and purchase, Personally, I used to make artworks before. I hardly
Hmm.
remember me going and purchasing any paper from Amazon. Even today, these are things which you need a personal touch and you need a separate, like, coming up to our website, you will not get distracted anywhere. You will not get
Hmm.
distracted by any other cotton paper or cow dung paper or anything else, elephant paper or all this. You will only focus
Yeah.
on water hyacinth paper because this paper gives us the best result compared to all the other handmade paper that is available.
Yeah.
So that's why no distraction, only handmade paper from Water Hyacinth.
Cool, cool, wonderful, Rupankar. So tell me about your future plan. What do you want to do in future? What is your vision like? So it's been like
Uh,
2 years that you have started. So for
yeah.
next 5 years, what do you want to do? And
So
yeah, yeah, go on.
yeah, yeah. So as of now, we are focusing only on paper, and all the R&D keeps on going because today, if we are, if is there any other process like more brainstorming, maybe someday chemical-free white paper can also be manufactured by Kumbhi Kagaz. So our focus is primarily that, and then after that, my planning is a lot with water hyacinth. Someday, maybe I plan to even make a rocket that will go to Mars with water hyacinth. So water hyacinth is amazing. Like we can make a lot of stuff. Even if not I am making, I am ready to talk to bunch of people. Like I want water hyacinth to be used by everybody and make anything whatever they want to. My focus is that if Kagaz is not like water hyacinth can be used to make eco bricks. So Kumbhi
Yeah,
Kagaz is not as of now planning to make eco bricks, but if there is someone who is watching me who wants to make eco bricks, please go and check out water hyacinth. So my
absolutely.
aim,
And see,
yeah, I don't want to
yeah,
take
what I was
credit of anything, but I just want people to use more water hyacinth than anything else.
the best part is that see it is a widely available resource, and it is not just Assam's problem or India's problem. It is a global problem.
Global
I
problem.
think across the world the problem is there, and we have this huge plants which there is absolutely no use. Generally there is
Yeah,
no use, and it is probably thrown away or maybe used for compost. But if
yeah,
something more productive can come out of this, nothing like it. So it's a global problem. And if anybody is listening to Rupankar, definitely go and approach him and see if they can solve this problem in their area. So
yeah.
great, Rupankar. So my final couple of questions. Tell us about your name. Your name is very interesting, Kagaz. So what is the meaning of this, and what was the idea behind selecting this name?
I enjoy these things a lot. Anything that is associated with little bit of creativity or a little bit challenging stuffs, I always accept. Maybe I'll fail, but I'll learn a lot. So the name, like wo Namkaran Prakriya was also a very interesting part for me. So we all were sitting because that moment of time we recently closed Inside Out. I closed my company Inside Out. That was a proprietorship firm, and we wanted to open a company like private limited company. So that moment of time we thought we have gone into a lot of research, कैसे नाम रखेंगे, क्या करेंगे. So then I thought कि you will see most of the name that is available, either a short name or a rhyming word sort of a name is becomes catchy for people and easy to remember. So Jalkumbhi is something when we talk about tell Jalkumbhi all over India, Hindi
Yeah.
speaking people, whoever is there or anybody who knows little bit of Sanskrit will know what is Jalkumbhi.
Hmm.
Sanskrit, like our idea was like when we are going back to the roots, we need the
Hmm.
word from roots as well. So
Hmm.
our regular language was Jalkumbhi. Then I started a little bit of research on that. We got to know that it was Jalakumbhi
Hmm.
in Sanskrit. So Kumbhi, we took Kumbhi, and then I added. Then I thought of like alternative paper ka alternative kya milega, and that was the easiest way to find Kagaz. So that's why have chosen Kumbhi Kagaz Private Limited. So Kumbhi Kagaz is a very good name. I that moment of time I enjoyed this name because it starts with K. Both the words starts with K. So that's how we kept the name Kumbhi Kagaz. So it tells
Yeah.
about our school. So we will be making Kumbhi Khata and Kumbhi Kalam and everything. Kumbhi Kumbhi Kumbhi.
Yeah, and probably people who don't want to pronounce the full one, maybe they can say KK, right? KK could be a
Yeah.
short one. So finally, tell me about your personal connection with nature and environment. How do you connect personally? You
So
told about your wildlife photography.
yeah.
Elaborate more.
So I am associated with Assam State Zoo as their content creator, and I also am associated as a research person with zoo. So my entire life revolves from like good morning to good night is wildlife because without wildlife Kumbhi Kagaz would not have, like, I don't know whether Kumbhi Kagaz, like I could ever come up with Kumbhi Kagaz. So wildlife becomes a very important part of my life, because nowadays we talk about conservation, we are taking out banners and everything. My target was totally different. If I don't cherish wildlife, if I don't enjoy wildlife, if I don't photograph wildlife, my I you will hardly find. I upload a lot of photographs, but I click more than that. Like I'll click 1 lakh
Yeah.
photographs and I'll upload only two maybe. So
Mm.
I enjoy the wildlife moments whenever I'm going for any tour. I don't go to national parks and all much for photography, because my backyard is the best place where I get to see a lot of birds. So
Mm. Mm.
birding and like wildlife photography and interest in nature starts from backyard. That's how it started in me. Birding became an important part. I started watching birds. That also because of Dr. Jayaditya Purkayastha. So everything like birding, and then every time during lockdown I used to, like, there was police everywhere, but I used to like but the police, they got to know that who is Rupankar Bhattacharjee nearby our area, because whenever there was snake, they'll give me a call, so I'll go and rescue. Even during COVID times, because COVID times, I remember, if it would have been my parents, I always seen that way, because when I remember the story of snake associated with me, because I was in class 6. That was the first
Mm.
time a non-venomous snake known as common wolf snake was that, like, we spotted at our place. We had
Mm.
no idea about what it was, because in our mind, if it is a snake, it is venomous. But we
Yeah.
don't know that most of the snakes are non-venomous.
Yeah.
Hardly
Yes.
2% or 3%.
Yeah.
So that's how. So that moment of time, I thought maybe if not me, then somebody might kill the snake. So for the sake of humanity and for the sake of snakes, there has to be someone. So that's how I really take care of my personal safety, because if I am living, then snakes will be living. If I am dead, one rescuer gone.
Yeah, absolutely. So wonderful, Rupankar. And I mean, speaking about wildlife, and especially that you are from Assam, and Assam is famous for
One horn
one-horned
rhino.
rhino.
Yeah,
Yes. So, I mean, generally people know that it's an endangered species. So, can
yeah.
you tell us a little more about it?
It's a lovely species, like rhinoceros. They are just like, I cannot describe you by words until and unless you come and check them out in front of your eyes, like that also in the wild. You will understand their size. You will understand. You go to any zoo, you check them out, their size, the way their body is built. Because I am associated with zoo, I got a few moments like where there was rescue, and also I could little bit get the touch while, like loading them in the enclosures and all. So that time I understood they're fascinating animals. And like the horn itself is
Yeah.
made out of hair. So that is
Mm.
more fascinating. When you see them in front, it seems like a normal keratinized skin, but it's actually hair. But a lovely animal, like that's why maybe like we are all fond of rhino. Like maybe the way people they're running after tiger, so we are always running after rhino. Like
Absolutely.
even I clicked maybe more than thousand of photographs of rhino, but even now if I see rhino, I'll always be ready with my camera to take some other angle photographs.
Absolutely. So, wonderful story, Rupankar. So, all the best to Kumbhi Kagaz and to your future endeavors. So, thanks a lot. So, thanks a lot to speak to us.
Thank you so much.